Hello and welcome to 15-Minute Gamer. My name is Tony and this is Far Cry New Dawn. I almost said Far Cry 5 New Dawn there, but it's just called Far Cry New Dawn. This is the new game from Ubisoft in the Far Cry universe, and it is set some period after Far Cry 5. I think it's about 25, 26 years. You can get it for about 36, 37 quid on Steam. I guess on PlayStation, I think it's around about 40. I got it from Boomerang Games as normal, delivered to my door. And no, I don't get sponsored or advertised by them. I just think they're a great company. Boomerang Games, game rental company. Check them out, especially if you like me sometimes and like, I don't know if I fancy paying for that game. Oh, it's just great because you just get it anyway. But that's far from it. So, we have the newest one. I've played all the Far Cry games. I quite enjoyed Far Cry 3 and 4. 1, 2 were really good. Far Cry 5 for me was... yeah, I didn't complete it. I couldn't complete it. I got bored. It kind of changed too much. And when I talk about some of the criticisms about this game, they're there. That's the best way to say it. And... yeah, I think this is an interesting one. Because deep down, it's just some DLC. It's a bit of a reskin of Far Cry 5, but they're charging almost full price for it. Yeah, it doesn't sit well for me. But anyway, before we talk all about the things, let's just start off with the graphics. So graphically, this game it's almost top notch. You know, it's just brilliant. The lighting effects, the character animations, the way the world is really bright and colourful. If it's like blue and pink flowers when you're going through meadows. Its animals are really well detailed. There's like snakes, there's wolverines, there's tiger things, there's wild boars. They'll all attack you. There's eagles, badgers. Just anything is going to attack you at some point in this game. They're all really well modeled. The design of the world, again, you know, you can see the dust storms going everywhere. The guns look really good, like really well modeled. And you cannot knock this game in any way, shape or form for its graphics, because there's just nothing to knock it for there. It just looks fantastic. The engine Ubisoft use, you know, with Assassin's Creed Odyssey looked awesome as well, and this, they just look fantastic. So yeah, I won't knock anything about the graphics. I've had a few glitches, a few clipping things, but apart from that, nothing. So yeah, on the graphic side of things, this gets pretty high marks. I guess it's kind of graphically related, but the field of view for me is far too close. When you're driving cars, you just kind of feel like your head's in the windscreen, and I don't get a good visibility around a lot of time. It's very closed in. I know on the PC you get a field of view slider. On here you don't. Another good mark for the graphics is you can turn everything off on the hood. You can get rid of your hit markers, your radar, your explosion indicators, your enemy types, where the enemies are. You can get all that removed. Hit points, damage, armor, ammo. You can choose in the options to get rid of almost everything. And you know what? I like that, because the UI in HUD isn't the best. It's quite cluttered. But removing them little things, like you turn X-ray vision off as well, so you can tailor that experience once you get used to it to become more immersive, to become more fun, to become less handholdy, and I like that. So yes, that is very good. Oh, and the fire effects, they're just amazing. When something's set on fire, it just looks incredible. So let's move on to sound. The sound design in this game is, again, really good. The guns sound beefy. They sound like you're firing them. The explosions all sound good. They've got that on point now with how the guns sound. You know, some games, we Crackdown 3 review earlier this week, I complained that the guns didn't sound, they just sounded very poppy and not like you were firing them. These, when you let off that 50 cal, you really feel as if that 50 cal is firing, it's booming away, and it just sounds incredible. The music in the game is terrible. I turned that off instantly. It's just not very good. It's this like Survivor Radio, it's called, and the music they play is just terrible. It's like, I don't know if that's a licensing thing or they cut money, but it's rubbish. The music is just terrible in this game. So yeah, I turned that off instantly. Voicing wise, your main character is voiceless, so there's no voice there. The rest of the reason for that is because you can pick male or female characters, and I guess they didn't want to put two kind of two different voices in there. The rest of the characters, I find them quite annoying, to be fair. I think this is just me getting older, but the way they speak and the way they talk and the way they repeat a lot of the same things again, I find really annoying. It doesn't make me want to save them or look after them or anything like that. The main protagonists, the twins as they're called, which we'll cover later on, their voice alright, but the script for them is terrible. Like, really. And in fact, that's what lets this game down a lot of the time is the script. Like, the voice actors are there putting some effort in, but the script's just not very good. And when they're speaking, and the subtitles sometimes don't even keep up with what they're saying, so they're kind of like a little bit behind. And it just sounds rubbish. I think it's one thing Ubisoft have never done great for me. But this time it really just feels like these characters, the twins, I just feel like they almost just put them in the game because they realized they didn't have a bad guy. They were like, oh, no, we need something quick, and just put them in. And the script kind of just stinks of, when you just get them in, guys, and we'll leave it at that. So, yeah, that was not impressive. So, yeah, big thumbs up for the guns and the explosion sounds, and the cars sound really good as well when he's skidding around and stuff. All sounds good, but the voice acting's meh, the script's a bit meh, and little things like that just break that immersion and let it down ever so slightly. So next up, let's discuss the story. There isn't one. Right now, there isn't. Basically, there's been an apocalypse. The world was destroyed by nuclear bombs. Not that you can tell. And people emerged 25, 26 years later. They started this community off, and it was like all singing and happy and joyous. And then an evil gang came, and they're the main protagonists of the game. So they're run by two twins, and they're like a motorcycle, well, kind of an off-road gang. So they wear like off-road biking uniforms, and they ride around in ATVs and bikes, and they're the main bad guys, and that's kind of the story. And you run a little, well, not run, but you live in a little town called Prosperity that you can upgrade. And we're going to talk about it in a second. Upgrade and do things in, and that's where your camp is, and you can go back to it. And little things like that, and that is the main cusp. And as you go around, you'll get little story missions. There's people that rescue and stuff like that. So the story itself is pretty meh. I mean, it's pretty non-existent, but you don't really pay Far Cry for the story. I just would like seeing that beefed out a little bit more. So before we get on the gameplay, let's talk a little bit about some of the other stuff. So the map is a decent size. It's not huge, and the game will only take you about 8 hours to complete. As you can see there's 22 story missions, 8 side missions. This is quite early on in the game, but you can see there's not that much there. You've got your journal screen where your missions are. You've got your character screen, which you can get your weapons and change clothes. Your weapons screen, so what you can do is if you're at a workbench, you can craft weapons. There's 4 different classes, so there's like a basic one and like an elite class and so forth, and they'll take different types of enemies down. You've then got your materials, which you collect, like ethanol materials. You've got your people who can help you, so you can assign them and unassign them. And finally, and stuff, you got some perks, so you get perk points as you go through, and then you can unlock, which lets you carry extra weapons and that sort of thing. And that's kind of what you get. So let's get on to the gameplay, because that's what everyone's going to ask. So the gameplay and what it's like. So the game, yeah, I said there's missions and there's the usual side quests. So you'll find people walking around and they'll be like, oh, there's some treasure over there. Or, oh, you might want to check out over there. So you've got that sort of thing going on. The best part about the gameplay and the story is the outpost section. So what there is there's 10 outposts around the world. The game says 30, there's not, there's 10. And what happens is when you take them over, so you know, like, if you've ever played Far Cry, you've got the alarm system, and then you've got a bunch of guys in there. What you do is take it out and claim it, but then you can hand it back to the bad guys up to 3 times. And each time you take it over, you get more resources from it. And I think that is fantastic. I think it's really, really good. So you can take each one over 3 times and get more and more resources, because this game is very resource heavy, so you need materials to craft vehicles, to craft guns. You need ethanol to upgrade your base, so you can like upgrade each part of your base 3 times, so you can get expeditions that will take you places. You've got to get a GPS marker, you can upgrade the vehicle workshop, the weapons workshop, the explosives workshop, that sort of thing. So when you're playing it, like, you're there to get resources, and you might think, ooh, I only need another 5 more of that to go and upgrade that gun, and you'll go off and do it. And it gives the game some purpose. Yes, it's been made purposely grindy. Because guess what? You can buy all this with real world money. Yes, they have lots of microtransactions in here and in your face constantly, but they're there. So that's what you're going to be doing in the game mode. You're going to drive around, walk around. There's animals to hunt, people to kill, random events going on. The outposts, the expeditions, story missions. You've got 5 people which you can rescue, which set up shop in your little prosperity hometown. And that's what you do. And it's about 8 to 10 hours long. I've seen some people take about 12, but yeah, there's not as much as you'd expect from a Far Cry game in here. And again, that's why I said at the beginning, it kind of feels like a DLC more than like a full game, because there's not that much. Gunplay is really good. There's loads and loads and loads of weapons in this game. One of the new ones is the buzzsaw thing. So what you can do is fire this buzzsaw, and it'll ricochet off metal, take people down. It's quite overpowered, to be fair, and it will just take out your own allies. But it's a lot of fun to use. And the only thing is, because this isn't a blood sort of game, you don't like chop people's like bits off or anything, or if you shoot the legs they just die. There's none of that. You just basically take them down and they die. There's the usual takedown ones, there's silence weapons, there's powerful weapons, there's little guns, there's rocket launchers, there's grenade launchers, there's kind of everything in there. You get the binoculars which let you see things. You can assign your as I said before, assign members to join you, so you get snipers and gun people, but I've not included any of that because I don't want any spoilers. I've kept it quite spoiler free, I hope. So yeah, it's kind of what you do, and that's what you're going to fill your game with. And this game again, like Far Cry 5 to me, just feels a little bit busy work. You got a lot of busy work. It's not to say it's not fun, and in fact this is one of these games, what you'll do is if you've got half an hour spare, an hour spare on a night, you'll shove it on and you'll have an hour's worth of fun. For longevity, I wouldn't go that it's going to be too long, but you know, it's a lot of fun. It looks good. You can play it co-op, and I understand playing co-op is a lot more fun. It gives you a little bit of things to do with having the base to upgrade and weapons to buy. I just wish they hadn't made it so purposely grindy, so that some people buy microtransactions. But overall, it's a fun game. It's well done. It's competent. It doesn't do anything new, and that's the problem with a lot of these Ubisoft games now. It just exists. It's just there to exist. It's not there to blow your mind. It's not there to be anything special, anything different. It's not there to give you a compelling storyline. It just exists as a game. And I just have a feeling we'll keep seeing this for Far Cry. I don't think Far Cry is over, even though they've said it probably is. But I would like to see something a bit more. But they're going to make money from it. It's going to be a good seller. People are going to buy these microtransactions to skip the grind. Unfortunately, the grind is probably the more fun bit about it when you're going around getting your resources. And they've just went, yeah, well, you can skip all this with real world money. And that just shows that it's purposely grindy. Would I recommend this game? Yeah, I kind of would. I'm on the fence with it. Some things are really good. It does some things really bad. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you all later. Goodbye.